When the headwaters flow down, this fishing equipment craft village becomes much busier. For decades, the rhythm of the craft has continued quietly, with craftspeople persistently creating a unique lifestyle of the traditional craft village and supplying products throughout the western region. Dear audiences, the THOM ROM net-weaving village was recognized as a traditional craft village in 2012. In this craft village, from around the 7th to 10th lunar months each year is a very bustling time. In today's program, we'd like to invite you to join Lin and our production team to visit this craft village. The THOM ROM net-weaving village is located along the National Highway 91 on the route from Can Tho to An Giang, in Tan Hung Ward, Tho Nhat District, Can Tho City. Currently, there are about 30 households producing fishing equipment. The net-making craft has existed and been familiar to people in the flood-prone headwaters region for nearly 40 years. Initially, the net-making craft was brought to the south by the Way residents, who came to establish their livelihoods. It gradually developed until now. Over the past 2 years, the craftspeople have been heavily affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The pace of life in THOM ROM net-weaving village has somewhat slowed down. This year, there's been a lot of rain. By mid-June lunar calendar, in the upstream areas of Dong Thap and Giang and Long An provinces, the water has started to rise in the fields. The fishing equipment craft enters its season early, and the THOM ROM net-weaving village is bustling again. According to the villagers, the village is renowned for its traditional fishing nets, a staple of the Mekong Delta's fishing industry. Although the craft is practiced throughout the year, it is customary for product use to peak during the flooding season. Presently, some production phases are less labor-intensive than they were in the past, thanks to some assistance from machinery. The products are highly rated for quality, functionality, and aesthetics. Dear audiences, during the 6th and 7th lunar months, if you visit the THOM ROM net-weaving village in Tho Nhat District, Can Tho City, you can witness this bustling pace of activity. Well, sister, how many products can your facility produce each day with such high market demand? During this period, our facility produces various net-related products like fishing trap cage, foldable fish trap, and many other items to prepare for the upcoming flood season. During the flood season, nets have the highest sales. As for fishing trap cages and collapsible fish traps, we produce those year-round. One area then rotate to another area like that. Is there a significant difference in the way you produce these traditional products now and how you did it in the past, Sister Thuan? Yes, there's a change. Back then, my father and the others would weave by mouth, a completely manual process. We now use machines to produce our products. It's more efficient and allows us to produce a higher quantity. We could only make roughly 10 pieces a day with our mouths in the past. One individual is now capable of making 20 or even 30 in order to fulfill the high demand for production. During the lunar calendar's peak months of July and August, I would want to know if your facility intends to stock up on more supplies or hire more workers, Sister Thuan. Generally, we import raw materials year-round. We never lack supplies because we prepare everything in advance for production. We don't just serve a few customers. We have many customers, so it rotates like that, and we have to meet all their needs. We have to stock up on supplies from the beginning, not wait until the season starts to purchase. If we waited until the peak season to stock up, we wouldn't be able to keep up. The THOM ROM net-weaving village is one of the oldest and most renowned fishing equipment craft villages in Vietnam's southwestern region. Over time, to survive and thrive in their profession, the net-making villagers have continuously learned and diversified their aquatic catching product lines. While in the past, the village's products mainly served the fishing needs of the inland delta residents. Today their products have expanded to meet the needs of the coastal fishermen as well. Thanks to this, the net village's craftspeople have constant work. Beyond traditional products, the craftspeople also pay attention to the customer needs across different times and regions throughout the country. They consider how fishing is done in different areas and local regulations regarding net mesh sizes to adjust their product designs and fishing equipment dimensions accordingly. The village's products have therefore become more diverse, including fishing trap cages, nets, cast nets, and kittle stake nets. Each type comes in various sizes, but importantly, every product has earned customer trust and confidence. The net villagers don't keep trade secrets. They support each other in business and maintain their ancestors' traditional craft. As a result, products from almost every facility are similar in both design and production process. The only difference lies in the durability and fishing effectiveness of the equipment, which mainly depends on the skill, adaptability, and craftsmanship of each artisan. For example, with traditional nets, in addition to net-making techniques, the craftspeople must be aware of how water levels in the fields vary year after year in order to modify the net length accordingly. Traditional products here are like fishing nets and trap cages. Around June and July of the lunar calendar, we prepare to enter the season for triple layer and single layer nets. Single layer nets are in high demand during the August lunar month when the water levels rise. Generally, it's easy. Anyone who is passionate can learn it all. Even if you know nothing, you can still do it, because when you get into it, you'll learn through practice. It's not difficult at all. Those with quick hands can produce more. Those who work slowly get less product. For this, the machine is pre-configured, so we just need to watch how we pedal to keep it aligned properly. Like if we tie a certain number of meshes on top, we need to pedal the same number of meshes below to match it with the top, so the net doesn't become crooked. If the net is crooked, and it won't catch fish. These days, the net makers of THOM ROM village aren't just skilled at their craft. They're also good at calculating and organizing their business operations. Annually, around after the Lunar New Year, fishing net production facilities begin importing raw materials and supplies to prepare for making fishing equipment for the inland fishermen during the peak season of rising water months. The following months will focus on producing fishing equipment for the coastal fishermen, ensuring sufficient supply for all seasons and regions throughout the country. Currently, fishing trap cages are the most consumed type of fishing equipment in the craft village. While a fishing trap cage might look simple at first glance, it actually goes through many stages of production and requires a great deal of craftsmanship. The goal is to create a high-quality cage that is both durable and attractive, as well as effective for fishing. Fish cages used for the inland fishing have different characteristics from those used for the coastal fishing. Only those who have worked in the trade for many years or have extensive experience fully understand these differences. The cages for the inland waters are made of iron, whereas the cages for the sea are made of steel. Also, there are differences in size. The inland cages are small, while the sea ones are large. The reason inland cages are made of iron and the sea ones are made of steel is that for sea use, they need to be stronger. The waves won't bend them like they would the inland cages. Generally, there are about 5 to 6 stages to complete a fishing trap cage. First is bending the metal, then drawing the beam, then pulling the wire. After that comes installing the funnel, and finally sewing. Installing the funnel is the most important step because this is where the fish enter the cage. This funnel is designed so that fish can get in but can't get out. Now, with this trade, we don't have to work far from home. We can work nearby, choose our own hours, work when we want, rest when we want. It's more comfortable than other jobs. In the THOM ROM net weaving village today, the local people have more autonomy in their work. They can work at the production facilities or take the work home, practicing the craft while also caring for their families. The fishing gear trade is not tough. It is possible to make a living from it with enough diligence. The net making craft has provided many households with a steady additional income during the off seasons of farming. Mrs. Do Vin's family is an example, taking advantage of the empty space in front of their house. In addition to their main work in the rice fields, she and her family members take on subcontracted fishing gear work from the THOM ROM net production facilities to do at home. The income from this supplementary work has helped Mrs. Van support her family's living expenses. The pace of this craft have thus spread widely, creating a unique lifestyle for the net makers of the capital of the southwestern region. What stage of the process are you doing now, Sister Hai? This step is threading the string through the pole. You start threading it through, then sew it. Sister Hai, please guide me. Here, this one, you sew it like this. Thread it through like this, see? Thread it through and pull it tight. That's right. Thread it through 2 loops. Right, now tighten that loop. Thread it through this loop here. After tightening, thread it right through this line, see? Pull it tight. For the next loop, thread it through again just like this. See, loop it like this. Now thread it through this loop again, see? Then tighten it. For this part, you need to tighten it here first. Then you can tighten it further out. How long have you been doing this craft, Sister Hai? It is now about 7 to 8 years. How many hours do you work each day when working from home, Sister Hai? By myself, I can make 3 of these per day. We don't really count hours. Whenever I'm free, I sew the cage. About 7 to 8 hours a day like that. But the good thing is being at home. That is more comfortable. At home, I can cook and take care of housework as well. Do you base your income on product output, Sister Hai? That's right. For a fishing trap cage, I earn 53,000 dong. It's just this face only. This part and the sewing part here, and the processes of tying the frame and inserting the funnel are paid separately. The part 1 take on is just the sewing. Sewing is very difficult because I have to sew this line down evenly, and this face needs to be even straight with this funnel line. If I sew it wrinkled, it won't work. The cage must be sewn straight. This stage is a difficult one. How do you find the earnings when you combine farming and this craft? For extra money, Sister Hai, this craft helps quite a bit. I don't need to work in factories and don't need to go far from home. I can stay right here and work, which is easier. Today's visit to the THOM ROM net weaving village made us happy to notice that the craft is developing further. Besides traditional manual processes, the craftspeople today have boldly invested in machinery for certain production stages. This has resulted in improved output and lower labor expenses. One of the highlights in developing the craft is the net weaving machine system. Having continued his family's net making business for over a decade, Mr. Nguyen Minh Hai has spent that time traveling extensively to understand and listen to customer needs, aiming to expand the market and take the village's products further. While previously most of the net materials for producing fishing equipment at the facility had to depend on supply sources from Ho Chi Minh City, currently Mr. Hai's facility has transitioned to using locally sourced raw materials. The mechanization of production stages has increased professionalism and supply capacity, ensuring they can fulfill large orders and affirming the THOM ROM net weaving village's position in the market. I see that your facility produces on a very large scale with significant mechanical assistance. When did you transition to production with the help of machinery? Actually, when I started out, my father gave me some capital to run my own business. I went to market, taking my products to different provinces, like Long and Ben Tre Trevin. When showing the products, I saw there was huge demand. But with such high demand, if I only worked manually, I'd still be dependent on the supply of goods from other places. So I came back and thought that I needed to innovate by investing in machinery to weave nets. and control my own material source for the production. The Khao THOM ROM brand has been established for about 40 years. I feel that developing a brand takes time, combined with quality products. Quality products require skilled net technicians with experience. When I have the experienced craftspeople, the produced products are effective for fishing, and the customers keep using them. What future plans do you have for your craft? If conditions allow, and I have the capacity and finances, I'll invest in more machinery. Currently, I can only meet about 0.5% of the village's needs. It's very little. Daily, we can weave only a few hundred kilos of nets, which isn't enough to serve the village's needs. My wish is for my business to develop steadily and create jobs for the local people right here in their community. That's my greatest wish. Currently, fishing equipment products from the THOM ROM net weaving village are available in markets across the country and are also exported to neighboring Cambodia. Customer trust is the driving force for the dedicated craftspeople who work diligently day and night to create quality products that support the livelihoods of many families. In the THOM ROM net weaving village, these days, familiar sounds can be heard everywhere. The rhythmic sounds of net pressing, weaving machines, and cheerful conversations have brought new life to the craft. The noises of equipment continue to be vivid on a daily basis, moving in tandem with the villagers' lives. Though simple, the net-making craft has a persistent vitality, which is the core value of the THOM ROM net weaving village people. This concludes our program. We'll see you again in the next episode of Mekong Delta Life.